Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start chapter number 3 of grade 7 IGCSE curriculum, that is place value and rounding. So let's start. So as the name of the chapter is place value and rounding. So as you all know, whenever we start a new chapter, first we try and understand what is the meaning of the chapter or of the terms which we are trying to learn. So place value, everyone knows what is place value, right? But we'll just study that again. What is place value? First, place value, it is the value of a digit. Whatever digit or number are written, the value of that digit is called as the place value. And why is that value? That value is because of the position, because of its position as to where the number stands in a given number. So place value of a digit is the digit value because of the position of the given number. Okay, every digit's position determines its worth. So every digit in a number, whether say whatever a number is, so every digit is determining its own worth. What is that digit worth of? That is determined by the place at that digit is standing. So the place value starts from ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000 and so on. The place value of a number starts from ones, tens, then hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000, from left to right. Okay, so we start moving from left onwards and we move towards the right. So we can say that the leftmost number is having the smallest value, or we can say smallest place value, and the rightmost number is the highest number, or it has the highest place value. Okay, so the digits, if you see, if there are two digits, 4 here also and 4 here also, but there is a lot of difference in between the 4 in this digit and the 4 at this place value, which is at ones, because at ones the value of this 4 is only 4, but in 100,000 the value of 4 is 400,000. So right, the value of the digit changes according to its place. Okay, so this is what is place value. Okay, so now I hope you understood what is place value. We'll just take up some examples to understand place value better. So if we have a number 5435, 5435, just write down the place value. This is ones, tens, hundreds, and this is thousand. So what is the place value of each number? We will write the place value of each of the number. So if we see 5, the place value of 5 is just 5. Now the digit 3, the place value of digit 3 is 3 tens. 3 is in the place value of tens, so 3 tens will be 30. The place value of 4 is 400. And similarly again there is a digit 5, but this time the place value of 5 is 5,000. So if you see same number, but the place value is different when it is arranged in a different manner. Okay, similarly if we take a bigger number 4, 7, 3, 2, 5, 6, 7. So what is the place value of this? This is 7. This place value of 6 is 60. The place value of 5 is 500, because it is at the hundreds. Then the place value of 2 is 2000. The place value of 3 is 30,000. The place value of 7 is 700,000, and the last 4 million. So this is million, 100,000, 10,000, thousand, hundreds, tens and ones. Okay, so the place value goes like ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, 100,000. So these three are for thousand. Then in the international number system I'm talking about, then it goes to million, 10 million, 100 million, then billion, and similarly like this only 10 billion, 100 billion. So in international we make groups of 3 numbers. Okay, so these are the place value of the numbers without the decimal point. Now let's take up a number with decimal point and we will try and understand the place value of the number which are after the decimal point. So if the number is 1.457, the place value of 1 is very simple, 1 only, because it is ones. Now what is the place value of this? This is called as tenth, as this is ones, this is tenth, this is hundredth, and this is thousandth. Okay, because as they are after the decimal point, that means they are part from a very big whole, they are not the entire part. Okay, so this is tenth, hundredth and thousandth. Now how do we find out the tenth? Means divide by 10, hundredth means something divided by 100. The place value of this will be 1 by 10 in number, 1 by 100, and this is 1 by 1000. So now let's write up the place value of the number which are given here, 1.457. So the place value of 1 is obviously 1, plus what is the place value of 4? It is 4/10. That means 4 into 1 by 10 plus 5 into 1 by 100 plus 7 into 1 by 1000. So the place value of second number we can say is 4 by 10. The place value of 5 is 5 upon 100, and the last number 7 is 7 upon 1000. Okay, so this is the place value of the numbers after the decimal point. And in the previous slide we learned the place value of the numbers which is before the decimal points, that is ones, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, etc. Okay, so I hope it is clear. With this we understood that what is place value. Okay, so now we know that what is place value. So we are studying place value, but we also need to know, if we are studying something, why are we studying? Why do we need it? Why do we need place value? Where is it required? Why is it so necessary to study place value? So the first point, it is helpful in reading the number or writing the number, also ordering the numbers in a line, also in comparing. So in all these places, and also doing calculations. So in our day-to-day life, whenever we need to read a number or we need to write a number, we need to order the number in certain order, or we need to compare any two numbers to understand whether it is less or more. So that time we need place value. That is very much important for us. The second thing, if there is no place value, so there is no calculation only. There is no calculations. No calculation means no money. So that's why we study place value. Also, the third very important thing is, place value helps us to do the mathematical operations like plus, minus, multiply and divide. So very important 3 things. Where do we need place value? The first is everywhere: reading, writing, ordering, comparing, calculations. Second is, if there is no place value, so there is no calculation, so there is no money. Third is operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So these are the 3 very important things. That's why we need to study the place value. So now let's start with the first subtopic. The first subtopic of this chapter is multiplying and dividing by 0.1 and 0.01. So in this subtopic, we will either multiply or divide the numbers given by 0.1 and 0.01. Okay, now 0.1. So what is the place value of 0.1 in fraction? If you say it is as 1 by 10, and 0.01 if I write in fraction, it is 1 upon 100. So 0.1 is actually 1 divided by 10 and 0.01 is 1 divided by 100. So when you multiply, when you say you're multiplying any number by 0.1, if you see here, so you're actually not multiplying, it is same as dividing it by 10. So this shows the same thing, right? 0.1, the place value is 1 upon 10. That means actually when you're multiplying any number with 0.1, you're actually dividing it by 10. Similarly, if you're multiplying any number with 0.01, so you are actually dividing it by 100. Okay, and when you actually are dividing it by 0.1, so you are not dividing it, it is same as multiplying. So it is getting multiplying by 10, and when you are dividing it by 0.01, it is as good as multiplying by 100. So you do the opposite of what you say because it is in decimal. Alright, so the place value of that is 1 divided by 10. So when you multiply, you don't actually multiply, it is same as division. And when you divide, it is not the same as division, you actually multiply. So remember these 2 points. If you remember these 2 points, you will be able to solve all the questions very easily. Okay, so now one more thing we'll understand, what happens when you multiply and what happens when you divide. So very easy. So when you are multiplying any number, so you shift the decimal place towards the right, because multiplying gives us the bigger number. Bigger number means the decimal point should be shifted towards the right. When you divide any number, you just shift the decimal point to the opposite side, that is to the left. Okay, again these two things you need to remember. When you multiply, you shift the decimal point to the right, and when you divide, you shift the decimal point to the left. So this happens with the actual calculations what you do. Okay, now let's take up example so that we understand what we studied till now. 20 into 0.1. What I actually told you, we will write the place value of 0.1. What is the place value of 0.1? It's actually 20 into 1 by 10, right? 20 into 1 by 10, that means 20 divided by 10. So what is the answer? 2. Similarly, if it is 40,000 into 0.01. So again, we will write down the place value exactly. What is the place value of this number? This is 40,000. This is 1 upon 100. So what is the answer? The answer is 400. Okay. Next, the third. Now we are doing division. This was multiplication. But what actually we did? We actually divided them. Now we are doing division. 2 divided by 0.1. Okay. 2 divided by 0.1 means how do we write it? 2 divide upon 0.1. So when it is 0.1, what is the place value? 1 upon 10. So this will be 2 upon 1 and here will be multiplied by 10. That means actually we multiply by 10. When it is divide, what I told you, we actually multiply by 10. So this becomes 20. Similarly, if we have 40 divided by 0.01, so 4 will be multiplied actually by 100. So the answer becomes 400. So these were all direct questions. Now not necessary you will have always direct questions asked. So you may have logical thinking based, application based questions also. So let's take up that. Raj thinks of a number. That means we don't know what number Raj is thinking. But then he is doing certain calculations on that number. Then he is dividing that number by 0.1. After then that again he is dividing the number by 0.01. Again Raj then divides the answer by 0.1, and finally after doing all these calculations the answer is 12,500. Now they are asking what is the number Raj thought at first. Okay, that means Raj is thinking of a number. We don't know that number. We need to find out that a number here. We will find out that only, this number. Then after that, after thinking about a number, he is multiplying that number by 0.1. Then he is dividing it by 0.01. And then again the answer he is dividing it by 0.1. And final answer he is getting as 12,500. We need to find out this number where it started. So let's take up the number as x. Okay, because we don't know. So whatever is unknown, we normally take it as x. You can take any letter, not necessary you take x. You can take a, z, y, p, anything. Okay, so I'm taking x. Then we are multiplying it by 0.1 as Raj has done. So x will be multiplied by 0.1. After that, whatever answer we get, he is dividing it by 0.01. After that also he is not stopping. After that, whatever answer he is getting here, he is again dividing the entire answer point by 0.1. And after doing all those things, the answer he is getting is 12,500. Okay, that means here again the unknown is x. We need to solve this equations, right? This equation is to be solved. Solving the equation has already been taught in the previous chapter. So we will just solve this equation and find the value of x. So here it's divide by 0.1. So this divide by 0.1 will go in multiplication over there. So x into 0.1 divide by 0.01 is equals to 12,500 into 0.1. So when you do into 0.1, that means you are actually dividing by 10, right? So 1 0 will get cancelled. So you will get x into 0.1 divide by 0.01 is equals to 1250. Because multiplying by 0.1, the place value is 1 by 10, right? So this 1 0 and 1 0 gets cancelled. So we get 1250. Again we are dividing by 0.01. That means this division goes there and becomes multiplication. So x into 0.1 will be 1250 multiplied by 0.01. Multiplied by 0.01, that means we will divide by 100, right? So when you divide 1250 by 100, you get 12.50. Now the last step is 0.1 is in multiplication. So we will write that in division. So x will be 12.5 divided by 0.1. So when it is division, what do? We actually multiply. So it is 0.1. So we'll multiply 12.5 by 10. So what do we get? 125. So the answer is 125. If you want, you can just solve this like this, and if you can check you are getting the same answer, you will get the same answer. If you want, you can just do the calculations in the straightforward manners at 125 multiplied by 0.1, then divide by 0.01, then divide again by 0.1, and you will get this answer for sure. Okay, so this is a type of logical or application based thinking question. So that's it with the first subtopic. We have one more subtopic, that is rounding. The second subtopic of this chapter is rounding. Now we all know what is the meaning of rounding. Rounding means round off. Okay, we already know we do round off the value. That means we give an approximate or an estimation, to give an estimation of a numbers. Okay, so round off value means giving an estimation, not the exact value. We will not give the exact value, we are giving the estimated value. So how do we round off a number? We follow three simple steps. 3 steps to round off. First step is we put a line after the number to be rounded off. Number or the place value of the number to be rounded off. So we put a line after the place value of a number which is to be rounded. Second, then we check the number after the line is 5 or more or less. Then third, if it is 5 or more, then we add 1 to the previous number, and if it is less than 5, we keep the previous number as it is. We don't do any change. If it is 5 or more than 5, then only we add 1 to the previous number which is before the line. And if it is less than 5, we keep the number as it is. We don't touch the number, but after that, whatever numbers are there, we put 0 to the remaining numbers. Okay, so these are the very important steps to be followed for rounding. First, we put a line after the number or the place value to be rounded off. Second, then we check if the number is 5 or more than 5 or it is less than 5. Third, when it is 5 or more than 5, we add 1 to the previous number, and if it is less than 5, we keep the previous number as it is. But after the line, whatever numbers are there, they become 0. Not in all the cases, only in cases where there is no decimal point. Okay, if there is decimal point, we stop the number as and where there is a line, we stop it at the line only. But if there is no decimal places, we put the 0 after the numbers, leftover numbers. Okay, now here rounding off is not to be done to according to ones, tens, hundreds or thousand. That also I have explained in one of my videos, but here we have to round off the numbers according to the significant figures. Now the video for significant figures I've already uploaded previously. You can go and check out that. If you want, I'll post the link of that video also below this. If you need, just comment below. I'll post the video link here also if anyone needs. Otherwise, you can go and check out directly. But then also I'll just give a quick recap for the 4 rules which we need to follow to understand whether the number is significant or not. So first rule says that non-zero numbers are significant. That is the first rule. The second rule says that in between zeros are significant. That means if they are non-zero numbers and there is a 0 in between those two numbers, then it is significant. Then leading zeros are never significant. That means the zeros before any number. That means there is no non-zero numbers and the number are starting with 0, 0, 0, 0. So that leading zeros are not significant, and trailing zeros are sometimes significant. That means the zero which are after a number are sometimes significant and sometimes they are not. So we'll just explain. Non-zero numbers are always significant, means the numbers starting from 1 and onwards till 9, any number, all are significant. In between zeros are significant, that means 1 0 0 4. So there's two zeros in between two non-zero numbers, so they are significant. Leading zeros means if there is a number 0 0 0.245 or 0.2456, so these zeros are not significant. Similarly, trailing zeros are significant, means so 42500 no, there is no 7. Okay, these are trailing zeros. So these two zeros here are not significant, they are not significant. But in case we have a number like this and there is a point and again there is a 0, so in this case all these trailing zeros are significant. So we need to remember that trailing zeros are sometimes significant. That sometimes is when there is a decimal point, and if there is no decimal point, then the zeros behind or the trailing zeros are never significant. Okay, so there is nothing more to explain in this. We'll just take up the examples directly. Okay, so we will round off every number according to the given degree of accuracy. So if we will try with different accuracy, right? We will not take all the numbers according to the same significant figures. So first number is 352. We will round off it up to one significant figures. That will be after the first significant figure we will put a line. Okay, as I told you, first significant figure means the first number in the number. We will put a line. After that, the second step, we will check the second number. We are checking it. It is 5 or more than 5. It is, this number is 5. So if it is 5, what are we supposed to do? We will add 1 to the previous number. So this becomes 4. And what I told you, after the line, the remaining numbers will become 0. So we will write the number. Now here in this number, we have only one significant figure, that is 4. Second example, 11540. We have to write them up to 3 significant figure. We need to round it off up to 3 significant figure. Now how do we do that? We will see, take 1, 2nd and 3rd. Third significant figure, we will put a line after the third significant figure. Then we will check the number after the line. It is less than 5. If it is less than 5, do we need to add 1? No, we don't need to add 1. We keep the number as it is. So this becomes 115. And after the line, as I told you, the remaining numbers become 0. Now let's take up a number with decimal point, 0.0023801. Now we need to round off it up to 2 significant figures. Okay, so when you want to round off it up to 2 significant figures, so as I told you, leading zeros are not significant, so we will not call them as significant numbers. So significant numbers starts from 2. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So after the second number, we put a line. Then we check the third number, that is 8, obviously more than 5. So what do? We add 1 to the previous number. So this will become 0.002. This becomes 4. After that, as I told you, after the line, we put the remaining numbers as 0. But here I will not put that because there is a decimal point here. If I write all the zeros here, all the zeros will become significant, and this will not be up to 2 significant figures. This will become 5 significant figures. So I will stop here. So always understand when to put 0 and when not to put 0. So if there is no decimal point, you put 0. If there is decimal point, you don't put 0. Okay, let's take up one more question to round off. In this question, actually we will round off to all significant figures. We will take a big number. Okay, we are taking a very big number, real big number. The number is 209.095046. It's a big number. Now we have to round it off up to 1 significant figure, 2 significant figure, 3 significant figure, 4 significant figure, 5 significant figure, and the last is 6 significant figure. So we will round it off up to 6 degrees of accuracy. Okay, so when you round it up to one significant figure, the first significant figure is this. Okay, so what do? We put a line after the first significant figure, that is this. So the second number is 0. So when it is 0, that means this 2 will remain as it is. So I'll write 2 and the next two numbers will become 0. Now I will not write all these numbers. Why? It is because there is a decimal point, and after the decimal point, if I write all the numbers, all will become significant, and then we will not have one significant figure, we will have more than 6 significant figures. Okay, now second one. Okay, we will start with the second significant figure, right? This was for the first one. Now what we will do? Two significant figure, that means first and second. So now our line will be, I'll just change the color so that you understand. Second significant figure is here. So now we will check the number after the second significant figure, that is 9. That is more than 5. So we will add 1 to the previous number. So this becomes 2, 1, and the number after the line becomes 0. Okay, next 3 significant figures. Let's take up green color for that. So 3 significant figures means first, second and third. So we put a line here. The fourth number is 0. That means we don't need to add anything to this 9. This remains 209. So for the fourth significant figure, what do? For the fourth significant figure, we put a line after the fourth number, that is 0. After 0, we put a line. This first, second, third, fourth. So then the next number is 9. That means it is more than 5. So what we will do? We will add 1 to the previous number. So this becomes 209.1. And we will not copy all these numbers, because if we write zeros, then all will become significant. Then we will move towards the fifth. 5 significant figures. So fifth means after 9. So after 9 I put a dash. Next number is 5. So if it is 5 or more than 5, we add 1 to the previous number. So what does this become? So the fifth number, after that it's 5. So we will add 1 to the previous number. So what does it become? 209.10, right? Because we add 1 na. 9 plus 1 becomes 10. So this becomes 1. This becomes 0. Then the last one is 6 significant figures. So after 5 put a dash. Then the number is 0. So I add nothing to this number, and the number remains as 209.095. So in this question only, we have rounded off the number to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 significant figures. Now not necessary again, you will have straightforward questions. There may be word problems or a type of application based question. Suppose if we say there is a match, there's a football match going on, and there are supporters of Barcelona supporters are also there. The number of Barcelona supporters is 63,475, and the supporters of Arsenal are 32,486. So quite a large numbers. So these numbers are the supporters of both the teams. Now they are asking us how many supporters are there all together, but they want us to write the answer up to 2 significant figures. Means they don't want the exact answer. They want the answer rounded off up to 2 significant figures. Okay. So first we add them. 63475 and 32486. So when we add them, what do we get is 95,961. Okay, so the answer is 95,961. But We don't want this answer. We want to write this answer up to 2 significant figure. How do we do that? To write this number up to 2 significant figures, this is the first one, this is the second one. So after the second number, we put a line. After that, it is 9. That means more than 5. So we add 1 to the previous number, 9. This becomes 6000. So it's 96,000. So the answer is 96,000, which is rounded off up to 2 significant figures. So that's it for this topic. We are done with this entire chapter, that was place value and rounding. Now I'll give you some challenge questions. Please solve these questions and post the answer below in the comment section. So the challenge question, you need to write only whether the sign is multiply or divide. Okay, for the first 3 questions. 6.7, then 0.1. How do we get 67? You need to put whether here you can multiply or divide for getting this answer. And for second, 0.23, 0.1, and the answer is 2.3. The third question, 550, 0.01, and the answer is 5.5. Okay, and now one more question. This is not the question of this. This is rounding off. Round off up to 5 significant figure. The number is 1, 2, 4, 5, 2, 6 and 7, 3. This is a number. So please solve these questions and comment the answer below in the comment section. Till then, see you for the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.